Brune, and they've reverberated really heavily in the press today. Now, he says that Bashar al-Assad used this chemical weapon called sarin, which is extremely toxic and it disrupts the nervous system. And he says that this was used in incidents on March 19th near Aleppo and Damascus. Now, Washington has not fully accepted this evidence because so far there isn't any physical proof because UN investigators aren't actually allowed access to the site to carry out tests. But Israel's assertions echo claims that have already been made by France and Britain. So Haaretz, actually, the Israeli paper, wonders why is the U.S. so reluctant to back Israel on this? And it points out that, well, Obama has previously defined the use of chemical weapons by Syria as a red line that could prompt American action in Syria. And Haaretz says, well, Americans are reluctant to do that for now.
Well, let's stay in the region. This is an incredible story, this next one. The Independent investigating the downfall of a British fraudster who sold fake bomb detectors to countries at war. It is an amazing story,
It's an incredible story. It's on the front page of The Independent today, and you see a photo of the man. His name is James McCormick, and as you said, he's been found guilty of fraud and convicted for selling useless bomb detectors to Pakistan, Lebanon, Mexico, Thailand, and especially Iraq. And in fact, he made £49 million from selling these faulty detectors to Iraq alone. So inside, The Independent explains just what he did. Basically, he sold a novelty golf ball finder that cost just £13 for up to £26,000 each. And he claimed that these, quote, bomb detectors could trace anything from explosives to elephants and could be used through walls, underwater, and underground. But these were completely fake. In fact, they didn't even have a power source. And his scam, well, created a real false sense of security and was used by Iraqi security personnel to try and detect bombs and had very tragic consequences. And The Independent points out that, for instance, on January 25th, 2010, 3 hotels in Baghdad were attacked. 36 people died, and security personnel had been using these faulty bomb detectors. So this is just part of the human cost of his fraud.
It's incredible how he managed to get away with it, really, isn't it? Papers also reacting, of course, still to the Boston Marathon bombings, wondering if there could be similar attacks on the horizon.
That's right. The Christian Science Monitor wonders, is American jihadism on the rise? And it seems like in the past decade, this national portrait of domestic jihadism has bubbled up within the United States. And the Christian Science Monitor points out that since September 11th, 2001, there have been 63 homegrown violent jihadist plots or attacks. And this is according to a congressional report back in January. So what is this? Is this some sort of a growing trend, or is this a rare exception? Well, specialists for now disagree, but what they can agree on is it's very worrying, and, well, authorities are keeping a close eye on it.
Now, finally, Flo's going to come back to The Independent, in fact. It's investigating George W. Bush's first steps on what might be the road to what it calls is rehabilitation.
That's right. Well, tomorrow he's going to inaugurate his presidential library in Texas. So it's a library, but it's also a museum, and it has an interactive exhibition, for instance, that lets people put themselves in Bush's shoes and see what they would have done if they had been given the same information on Katrina or Iraq. So basically judge his decision-making. So, well, The Independent points out that this is, pretty much his comeback, but is America ready to reconsider his legacy? Well, in any event, this is his reemergence on the scene because he's been very, very discreet since his presidency. He's been completely out of the spotlight, except for maybe his paintings, which we've seen coming up on the internet. And The Guardian, lots of painting of dogs, by the way, but The Guardian looks at who's going to be in attendance, and look at here. It's this nice little party of presidents. Nice. You have Carter, Bush Sr., Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, but also Tony Blair and all sorts of other high-profile guests. And, well, The Guardian says this might sound like a party, but it's most likely to be like a wedding without alcohol, which I think is a pretty good description.
Well put. I love the way they spelt it as well. D-U-B-W-A-W. Flo, thank you very much. Flo with the international papers here on Fast Good stuff.